Okay. Good morning. Sunday morning, January 24th. And this next weekend, we've got our residency, our combined sections 20 and 21, ITS 836, data science and big data analytics. Um, so this lecture um, will be really more about the mechanics of getting into the residency. I'll show you where some things are in the classroom. If there's any question, if any questions or concerns, if you would please shoot me an email. Earlier the better. Okay. Please don't wait until Friday afternoon to let me know if anything's happening. If you can't make the entire residency, I can't help it. I can't help you. There'll be a makeup session, so don't worry. But I can't do anything if you can't make the residency. So I've got some PowerPoint slides as usual. Let me share that presentation, and we'll get rolling. Okay. Um, I am screen sharing this application. Good. Okay. Um, Next slide. Okay. The schedule for this coming weekend, be prepared. It's all night and all day, and then the morning of Sunday, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. We will meet using Microsoft Teams. I'm sure you all have seen traffic on that in your email. Hopefully, you've downloaded Teams and gone to the residency information folder and clicked on the Teams link. Um, if you can get in now, you'll be able to get in Friday. So this is our schedule, 5 to 10 p.m. We'll do a photo check-in. So make sure. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Here's our schedule: 5 to 10. Then we'll work 8 a.m. And again, all times Eastern. We'll work 8 to noon. Take a break, noon to 1:30. Um, get away from these computers, and then we'll come back and get started again at 1:30. And I say 1:30 to 3 for question and answer, and I will cover a little bit about my tips for PowerPoint and public speaking and speaking slowly and clearly and creating PowerPoint slides that are brief and to the point. So I'll pass all that on, and I've got a PowerPoint template that you'll be able to use in the um, folder for the residency. Beg your pardon. And then you'll just work and work and work and work on more on your papers and presentations until 7:30. We'll come back at 8 a.m. Sunday morning. And probably kind of depends on how everybody feels. We can't short the residency because there's a requirement for so many contact hours. So um, if we get done too early, we can just talk. But there's no real point in getting done too early. So I may be able, since there's 4 teams, presentations should be 10 minutes each or so. We should be able to get the presentations done in an hour if everybody thinks about what they're going to say and is brief and succinct and then finishes. Um, we should be able to get 4 teams, and they're small teams, finished in 1 hour. So I'm thinking when we come back and we'll do an ID check at 8 Sunday morning, but I think we'll go back to working in groups, give you a chance to finish up the practical connection assignment. which is going to be a little tough this time. Um, and actually, I don't think I don't have a slide coming up on the practical connection assignment. I'll dig one out for you. Okay, so there's your schedule. 5 hours on Friday night, almost 12 hours on Saturday, and 5 hours Sunday morning. But then that's it. That just leaves our short research papers, our little 2-page papers and discussions for the rest of the semester. Um, to me, doing them this early is a little unfortunate because we haven't covered that much to go back and really even talk about, or to use as a baseline for these assignments. So, okay, we'll make the best of it. And the one thing that this does provide is plenty of warning. If you can't make this residency, you will be invited to a makeup session. Actually, had one student. What is this? The spring? Yeah, one student in the fall fell ill, literally fell ill, couldn't participate with his team, couldn't check in, so he had to do the makeup residency. So if that happens, even if it happens like Saturday night, if you wake up Sunday morning and you can't check in, you can't participate, you're gonna have to do the residency. You've seen the requirements, okay, that have been levied on you. You've got to you've got to participate in this entire residency to get credit at all. Okay, that is just the way it works. So during this residency, 60% of your grade will be determined. So it's really, really important to bring your A game. Um, the assignments you'll complete are a research paper. I call it a literature review. There's hand in hand. Um, you'll see at the end of this presentation, I've got topics for each research group that you'll be tackling. So your paper's the big points. One, I'm going for 5 to 7 pages. But then each of you will have a part in the research presentation. You should be able to split up the presentation. There's only, I think there will only be 4 active members in each team, so it shouldn't be too hard to separate the presentation. And the presentation will track with the paper, so it's usually pretty easy. Now, the research paper. Um, yeah, you'll complete, like I said, research paper, literature review, uh, um, on your assigned topic, which will be at the end of this presentation. Going for 5 pages min, 7 pages max of content. That doesn't include of course, your title page and um, your reference page. Always have a separate reference page. Seen a few papers where you forget to put that page break in there. Of course, APA format's required. Going for a minimum of 6 references, minimum. Um, and organization will be key. I should see uh, distinct headers in an APA formatted paper, headings. And as you know, we don't say section 1 with numeral 1 heading. We just say the name of the section. But that, and then within the paragraph, I've I've done all the feedback for all the research papers that came in. Some papers are a unorganized random collection of sentences with no rhyme or reason, and that's not college level writing. Organization is key. You need to, like you're telling a story, like a director uh, shoots scene after scene after scene to tell the story, to build the plot, to make sense. Organization is key to writing, and you've seen my academic writing for systems engineers, and you've seen my EndNote demo, and you've heard this all before. So the particular challenge is when you're working as a team. um, is to stay organized. So you'll need to um, you'll need to probably have an editor that can make sure that everything is flowing. So it probably makes good to have someone who feels confident in doing that. But you're all highly experienced and educated adults, so I'll let you sort out the work that way. But I do want you to note that the entire team is responsibility for the originality and the readability of your paper. All of you have to go through that paper and be happy with each and every word in that paper and make sure that the paragraphs are clear to a single main idea. There's a topic sentence so that the reader knows what that paragraph is supposed to be about, and that the paragraphs flow from one idea to the next. It's just, this is simple, you know, middle school writing. Um, but be careful. When you're working as a team, don't let someone and don't let each other just come in with a block of text and paste it into your group paper, because you're all responsible for originality. And we've seen in class discussion in both sections, folks are cutting and pasting and spinning, article spinning, paraphrasing website, that sort of thing. And even if the words are different, if if the same thing is being said, but just you're changing a few nouns to a different noun or a different verb to a different verb, it's still plagiarism. It's still a problem, and it doesn't make any sense. And like I said, you've all seen it in class discussion, just like I have. You all know what's happening. This is 350 points, guys. This is your semester. Okay, don't take it lightly. Don't fake it. Okay, there you go. So you'll prove your ability to read and analyze existing literature as a team. Okay. The presentation, pretty easy. I'll provide a template and I'll go over my my thoughts on PowerPoint, but you can kind of see how my brain works in PowerPoint on these lecture slides. You don't want to put in too much text. Try and use short bullets, but if you need a script, you should be able to see, click to add notes, see that big old add notes. You can add your script down in there. And but don't read your paper. Ah, whatever you do, don't read your paper or read a script. Okay? Notes, not if there's something you need scripted, try and make it a short passage so that if you want to get your words correct, but please don't read entirely from a script. Okay. And then the attendance requirements. Um, you need a working camera phone and a working a working camera and a working microphone. Um, I'm sure that you have all noticed the quality of my recordings, the vocal quality. It's because I use the separate $20 Walmart boom microphone. Some people, their laptop seems to work okay. Other people, it sounds like they're at the bottom of a barrel and it's echoey and you can't understand anything. So I would beg you, you've got a week. I would beg you, get some sort of separate microphone and do a quality check. Just we've all been doing this under COVID for so long, but still I see people that refuse and they sound terrible. I guess people don't tell them. It's like maybe it's like bad breath. We don't want to tell each other we have bad breath because we don't want to hurt each other's feelings. So we don't tell each other your audio's terrible. But anyway, a boom microphone like I've got, like I said, this is just $20 at Walmart. In order to check in for attendance, you will need a government photo ID, not your student ID. You'll need passport or driver's license, and all I need is name and picture. And you will literally, hold it. I don't have my wallet with me, but you'll hold your ID up to the camera. Hold it still until I can see the name and the picture. And apparently these are being audited to include by like immigration and naturalization. So the I mean the university is serious about this. Okay, so if they're serious, I'm serious, you're serious. But you can take tape, blue painter's tape, whatever you want, and put it over like the address and the number if you're concerned about PII, which we know is personally identifiable information. All I need is the name and your photo. Okay, so don't be late. You can be early. You can check in early, but don't be late. Um, while we're in this lecture here, I'm going to go in and I'm going to type in my phone number. Please add that to your contacts for the duration of this residency. I'll bold it to make sure you can read it. If you can't read it for some reason, if the screen isn't clear enough, um, email me. Okay. Because I want you to have my phone, because I want you to call or text me if you're sitting there and you're trying and you're clicking and something's not happening. Call me. Okay. I'm not your tech support. We have iLearn tech support, but there may be something we can talk through. Try to check in early. I've got to be in that Microsoft Teams classroom starting at about 4:30 on Friday. So be early. Don't be late. Uh, I can't say it too many times, but there's my phone number, which you can also use throughout the residency. Because when we break into groups, you'll use another tool, not Microsoft Teams. You'll be using it's called Collaborate Ultra in the iLearn in a Blackboard. Um, but if you need my attention, I got 4 groups and I'll be looking up things, helping people, whatnot. You will be welcome to text me and invite me into your group classroom if you guys want to talk something over. And the absolute got to be there with your camera working, with your microphone working, is 5 p.m. Friday when we first start, twice Saturday when we start at 8 a.m. and when we come back from lunch at 1:30 p.m. And I've got to record these check-in sessions, and then when we get started Sunday morning at 8 a.m. and all times Eastern, remember. Um, so that's enough about that. Okay, so I went into iLearn and I created 2 groups in each section. Section 20 and section 21 both have 9 students enrolled, and coincidentally, both sections have 1 student that appears to perhaps be dropping, that you haven't seen in class discussion, and they didn't turn in their latest paper. So I'm assuming we're really going to have uh, 16 of us all together, 4 true active participants on each team. Um, but maybe those folks will come in and participate, and that'll be good, because this weekend is your semester. This is no kidding, make or break. So here are the 4 groups. Group 1 and 2 are from section 20. Group 3 and 4 are from section 21. And I did adjust the groups to make sure that the one person that in each section that is not really participating much is one of the teams with 5 people. so that if they continue the trend of not participating, there will be 4 of you. So these are the research groups that you'll be working in, and the specific requirements for the paper. Um, these are common and regardless of the subject, because we'll do the subjects on the next slide, the topics. Okay, so this is easy stuff, guys, right? Easy. 5-page paper, simple stuff. What makes it hard is breaking up the work and writing originally and pulling things together so that it makes sense. It tells a story. But this is an easy story to tell, guys. Don't stress out about this. Okay, so there are 4 separate topics. Well, I'll just pop over there and then I'll come back to this. Here's the 4 topics. Um, we're going to do data visualization. So there's different ways you could go within data visualization if you wanted to be specific to something. Um, Big data tools. I wrote big data. That's too much. So then I talked about big data tools, which, as we know, are things like the Hadoop file system that lets you break down a query into multiple threads that work on it all together and then aggregate information back up to the top. Hadoop and Spark is actually, I believe, even faster. But there's performance things out there between data tools. There's different tools of data visualization that you guys could go. So anyway, these are the top healthcare information analytics. And I phrased it that way because I don't want you to do just like healthcare analysis of a single patient, because there are ways to blend different data together to form like a diagnosis, like expert systems, helping a doctor diagnose. What I wanted to do was aggregate healthcare information across like a population in order to see what health trends or bad health is happening, or indicators, or finding cancer clusters, or there's just a bunch. I'm not that kind of doctor. Neither will you be. But that's the kind of thing I'm talking about, is using patient data from electronic health records and other sources to uh, further the cause of good healthcare. And then lately, with the election and the protest at the Capitol building documented on social media, I thought, hey, okay, we'll do social media analytics. And there's a lot. There's sentiment analysis. There's um, there are research projects going on in the networks themselves, and how networks are formed, how social networks are formed, how advertising is working on social media. There's just a bunch of different ways you could go with your paper. You can't cover everything, so you're welcome to pick a slightly more narrow approach to these big topics, because it's only a 5-page paper. Okay. Specific requirements. Here's what the flow of each of those 4 papers will look like. An introduction to the topic itself, and try and include early early applications of the technology, or early researchers and research projects uh, in that area. Of course, you'll want to catch the reader's attention. Why is this area worth researching? Why are we conducting research in social media analytics? Why are we conducting research in the art of data visualization? That, there's plenty of stuff out there you could say to. It's kind of like a problem statement in your dissertation. Uh, um, and then you're going to want to include a clear thesis sentence in your introduction. You know, this paper will examine recent uh, research projects in the area and describe future research trends or something like that. And if you need to shape the specifics of the paper into a certain more narrow focus, make sure your topic sentence, and it can, a topic sentence can be one, two, three sentences. I'm sorry, a thesis, but just make sure it's really clear in your introduction what you are going to be covering um, as you transition into the meat of your paper, which are going to be two sections. Um, Once you've set the history in the introduction, the history and the why we're talking about this, then section one will be a couple, 2 to 3 pages of recent research projects. And these need to be, when you're looking for articles, these need to be original research projects that went out and collected data and according to a methodology, whether it's, a quantitative experiment of performance parameters between Hadoop and Spark, or a qualitative assessment of the way certain data visualizations make people feel, or there's quantitative and qualitative methodologies, and within them there are different ways. Now, I'm not expecting you to be methodology experts, but you should describe using the author's words. All these articles describe their methodology. A, um, uh, an original research project, the methodology um, will be explained. But I'll go into a little bit more of this on Friday night as part of the warm up lecture. So, and then the third thing in recent projects is the findings. So the research question that they were hoping to answer, the methodology they used to address that question, and then what was the answer? What are the findings? And you should be able to find, two, three, four recent projects and talk about them and they. I will occasionally see students turning in I and we in these as if you conducted the research. And it's always the product of a cut and paste. It's always a student cutting, we collected data from da 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 and sticking it in this paper. And that's inappropriate. You haven't done any research. Okay. So when you talk about someone else doing something, tell us what they did. It's easy pronoun choice. Section two will be future research directions. Now, these can come from the same articles that you used in section one. If you reviewed 4 research projects, almost every original research project will recommend future research. It's a very big part of academic research and writing. If you read enough of these articles, you'll see the similarities. So future research directions, where are we going in this area and why? Uh, there are, kind of big ticket reasons to do future research. And then there are specific recommendations by published authors that usually go into maybe conducting their experiment on a different population, or um, taking what they found in a case study, which is a limited examination of a particular company or family or whatever. Maybe taking what they found in that case study and replicating it among other cases, other organizations. So there you go. Two main sections to your papers, and of course you'll conclude by saying something new that sort of wraps up the paper without being just this is what I covered in my paper. It's writing is an art, as we as we all know. So you'll conclude with something, a basic summary of your points, but then try to add something a little bit new that that intrigues the readers, that's thought provoking. You'll include a title page with all the team members, and I've used the same APA paper that I provided previously in the course. So title page and reference page, but no abstract or table of contents necessary. It's too short of paper. Five to 7 pages. Doesn't need a um, table of contents. Okay, and there's your topics. If you want to get started, great. But it's not really fair to be too hard on one of your classmates that didn't have a lot of time to get going. If somebody shows up and hasn't seen this lecture on your team, let me know. It's just kind of ridiculous if folks are not watching the weekly lectures. So there are your topic areas. There are your teams, and they're in. You can find them in iLearn. There should be like a My Groups or Groups link. Um, okay, so keep an eye on email. I'll send out some other stuff leading up to the oh, cut and paste there. Never mind. Disregard. As always, if you have questions, um, call me. I had to modify the syllabus and stick this in there, so there may be a little weirdness in future assignments, but I think I got everything. I think I got everything squared away and lined up, and I was able to inject the residency because we don't know. Different sections have residencies on different weekends, but I think I was able to inject everything okay. So next, I want to meeting controls. Stop sharing that screen. Back to the camera. Back to you, Don. Okay, now I want to show you in the classroom. Let's see. So I want to share my Chrome. Share my Chrome. Where's my Chrome? Where's my Chrome? Okay, there's one. All right. In content, when you go to your your classroom homepage, uh, here's section. This is section 20s, but 21 looks exactly the same. Go to where do we go? What am I doing? Man, I hate doing a live demo. There we go. When you click on content, you should see week 1, 2, and 3 already. Now this is the instructor view, so you'll see some stuff here that I haven't worked on yet. That'll go away and we'll shoot straight to week 5. But you should be seeing a combined residency class meeting and a residency session resources. Now, the combined residency class meeting, you'll want to click on that. And oh, here again, here's some faculty information. Item is hidden from students. So you can't see that, but you should be able to see getting ready to go to your virtual classroom and a Teams overview. And here in a minute, I'll show you about Collaborate. It's easy. Now, here we go. Here's the link that you've got to follow. Join your residency class meeting, but only after you have downloaded Microsoft Teams. So I'm gonna click on the join your residency. Nah, because that'll absorb my camera and that'll mess things up. When you have, like you guys have probably seen, when you've got Zoom and Google Meets or whatever, you can have a conflict between which application is using your microphone and camera. But anyway, I wanted you to see that. You go to the folder, what says combined residency class meeting, and then you will see the link to join your residency class meeting. This is the link to Microsoft Teams, and it will take you to our combined Section 20 and Section 21 meeting. And that is where we will check in. You will show your ID cards. I'll record that part and all that. And then when I'm done yapping, you have individual team um, sessions created in Blackboard Collaborate, which is what we used last semester. If you were with Cumberland's last semester, pretty sure everything we did was with Collaborate Ultra. So um, that's this folder. Now I'm not done. So um, when I go back to content and click on resources, I haven't put everything I want to put in here. But this is where the assignments are, the group assignments and your individual assignment, which is your practical connection assignment. Okay, now real quick, while I'm on here, this is 100 points, and um, a lot of people cheat on this one, unfortunately. 2 or 3 or 4 every semester. There's two things that will get you a 0 on this paper, and it's 100 points, so you can't make an A in a class to 1,000 points. Can't make an A if you're missing 100 points off the top of right off the bat. Um, Two things will get you 0, and that is turning in a practical connection assignment for another course. Okay, because we do these practical connection assignments every semester. Sorry, you've got to write a new one, because this practical connection assignment has to provide a reflection. That is you thinking to yourself and writing to me of how the knowledge, skills, or theories in this course have been applied or could be applied in a practical manner to your current work environment. This is not your current resume. That's a 0. This is not a listing of everything you do at work today. That's a 0. This is paragraphs. This is a note, a Dear Dr. Walker letter from you to me. Okay. Um, Turning in one for another course is an automatic 0. Okay. Using too much, more than 20% of one that you turned in from another course is an automatic 0. Um, and then, of course, pulling one off of Course Hero, and I find every semester it happens. It's embarrassing that I even have to talk about this, but every semester it happens. Somebody will turn in one, and you know, if I see you writing that, thanks to this course and the wonderful instruction by Dr. Walker, I now know everything there is to know about R programming, and I have changed the way work is done where I work, and everything is fantastic. If I see, we all know what BS is, right? If I see BS in your practical connection assignment, uh, it's a 0. Okay. So you've got this whole week to think about what you're going to write. In fact, you've got all week to write it, right? But sure enough, I'll get people at the last minute turning in, working furiously on something that gets them a 0. Uh, and this is the easiest assignment that any PhD student will ever receive. So that's all I'm going to say about that. All right. In in order to work as a group, there is a tool given to you called Collaborate Ultra. You click on Communicate in the panel on the left, and you will see um, a session for your group, 1 and 2, and then over in section 21, you will see group 3 and group 4. Um, so they don't start yet, but they start an hour early on Friday. So while you're checking in and making sure everything works in Microsoft Teams, you could pop over here and make sure that it's started. And if it hasn't, let me know. I have defaulted the role to presenter. You should all be able to share your screens with each other. Now, that's as smart as I get on Collaborate Ultra. It's just using it for video. If if your team wants to, you are welcome to collaborate on like a on Google Drive and use Drive and Google Docs for your paper so that you can type and see each other typing in real time. All I would uh, caution you again is beware. Somebody comes in with some giant block of text. It's probably not original. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Be careful. Be careful. Okay, so um, that is the environment this coming Friday. Those are the assignments, the teams, um, the tools that we'll use. Um, that should be it. So, like I said, I will still be popping in resources, but we don't really start until Friday, so I'll be adding things all weekend. But the main, if you want to if you want to prepare, the main things to do are to go find recent research articles in that topic area for your team, and look at what I asked you for, which was the research question, the methodology, and the findings, that's the meat and potatoes, as we say, of any research project. And make sure they're not literature reviews. Just because it's an article with the keywords in it doesn't mean it's a research project. Doesn't mean it collected original research data, which uh, I've talked about enough times in this semester. So that's what you can do to get ready. And then if you want to read some, how to of conducting a literature review, um, that's all over the internet. You can find that, and I'll be adding things to the folders here earlier this week. But I'm gonna go ahead and hit stop and get this uploaded to YouTube and get it embedded in the resources folder. And I got to back it up with an announcement and an email. Okay, you guys, you have my email. I've been corresponding frequently with one of you. Um, so let me know if you need anything via email. And make sure you've got my phone number. It was in the lecture. All right. I'll see you guys Friday.